and start them up. Start with those push jacks, just 2 of them, then alternating lunge, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, then 2 push jacks again, then alternating that lunge again. Just keep it going nice and quick. Get that cardio up there really nice and high, get that heart up there really nice and high. And stop. Remember, active rest, at least moving those feet around, jogging in place if you can. And start it back up, starting with that push jack, those hands coming straight out in front of your chest and back. Make sure you're really working against yourself. You're working against yourself as you push those hands out and as you pull them back. Snap those feet in and out together really nice and quick. Just keep that motion going, really trying to get that cardio up there. Make sure you take a nice long time, do a really long lunge, getting down nice and low. And stop. Remember, active rest, keep those feet moving. And start it back up. Get those feet moving nice and quick with those hands going out in front. Then make sure you're getting a really nice long step with that lunge. Get that knee down as close to the ground as you can control. That torso almost straight up and down. Stop. Remember, active rest, keep those feet moving. Nice deep breath in.
This is it.
And start it back up. And stop. Active rest, keep those feet moving. And start it back up. Just 5 seconds left. Keep it going. 1 more lunge. And let it relax. All right, very good job. Let's go ahead and move to the next exercise, which is toe touch crunches. Go ahead and lay down flat on your back. Grab a mat if you have one handy. Go ahead and get ready. And start up. Get those feet straight up above those hips, hands up above those shoulders, crunching up towards those toes, trying to get as close to those toes as you can. Make sure you get a really tight squeeze at the top of that range of motion, and make sure as you lay back down, you don't let those abs completely release. You want to keep those abs constantly contracted. And stop. Go ahead and let those feet drop down. And start it back up. Get those feet back up, crunching back up towards those toes. Get a nice tight squeeze every single time. Try to get those shoulder blades up off the ground as much as you possibly can with every single crunch. And go ahead and stop. Let those feet drop down. Try to keep those muscles contracted at least a little bit, not necessarily your core. You can let those release, but try to get your upper body contracted, those legs contracted, just to get a little bit more of a calorie burn out of this so you're not completely resting. And start it back up. Get those legs up there, crunch it up. And stop. Drop those feet. Remember, keep those legs contracted at least, or those upper body muscles. Get a little bit more of a calorie burn during this rest. And start it back up. Get those legs back up there. Get that crunch going. Just 10 seconds left. We're going to finish this out, so really burn those muscles out. Try to get as much of a squeeze as you can at the top. Keep pushing that range of motion. We're almost done. And let it relax. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and move on to our next exercise, the forward and back hop squats. Let's go ahead and get ready. And start them up. Squat down nice and low and hop forward. Then squat down nice and low again, then hop backward. Now it's going to be really easy to hop forward. It's going to be a lot more difficult to hop backwards. So don't over jump forward and then not be able to get far enough backwards. Otherwise you're going to constantly be moving forward. So try to evenly match the distance you jump forward with the distance you jump backwards. And stop. Try to keep those feet moving, that active rest. Jog in place if you have any energy left. And go. Get those feet moving again. Nice deep squat every single time. Try to get a really high jump off that squat. Moving forward, the same distance you move backwards. Just keep that motion going nice and strong, under control. And stop. Keep those feet moving. Remember, active rest. And start it back up. Nice deep squat, jumping back and forth. Remember, the harder you jump up, the more those legs are going to have to work, the more cardio you're going to get into this. So push yourself as hard as you can. And stop. Nice deep breath in. Keep those feet moving. And start it back up. Nice deep squats, jumping back and forth. Trying to get that heart rate up there really nice and high. Trying to get that breathing rate up there. This is supposed to be cardio, so really try to push yourself. And stop. Keep those feet moving. Remember, if you can, if you have anything left, try to do jogging in place. And start it back up. Nice deep squat. Really push on this one. This is your last round, so try to burn those legs out. We're almost done. Nice deep squat. Nice high jump. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next exercise. We're doing a side plank pulse on the right side first. Let's go ahead and get ready. And start up. Go ahead and bring those hips up nice and high. Keep a nice straight line from shoulder down to knee, and then press that hip up from there. So you want to do the range of motion from the straight line to pushing those hips up. Don't let those hips ever drop down past that point. Just keep those hips up nice and high, just a couple inches to the top. And stop. Gonna drop those hips down, let it relax for a little bit. Try to keep those legs contracted, those upper body muscles contracted, just to get a little bit more of a calorie burn out of it. And start it back up. Get those hips up there really nice and high. Doing that pulse at just the very top of that range of motion. Trying to get a tight squeeze every single time. Keeping those core muscles really nice and solid. You want to make sure that you're predominantly feeling this on that oblique on the bottom side, on that right side of your body. So try to tuck that shoulder down to that hip nice and tight. And go ahead and stop, drop those hips down, let those core muscles release for just a second. But remember, try to keep those leg muscles and those arm muscles nice and tensed. And start it back up. Nice tight squeeze at the top of that range of motion. And stop, drop those hips down. Again, try to get that active rest in there, so you want to try to keep those muscles tensed at least a little bit. And start it up. Get those hips up there really nice and high. Short pulses, just a couple of inches at the very top of that range of motion. Get those obliques really nice and tight. Making sure you get a tight squeeze every single time you pulse those hips up. We're almost done. Just 10 seconds left. Keep those hips going. Keep them up there nice and high. You just got a few more seconds left. Just keep those hips going, really burning those obliques out. And let it relax. All right, let's go and move on to our next exercise, the jumping jacks plus a squat.
In my ass. It's killing my glutes.
Go ahead and get ready. And start up. A regular jumping jack, just one jumping jack, and then you can drop down, squat off to one side, nice deep squat, then come back up to the center, do a jumping jack, and then squat off to the opposite side. Just keep alternating back and forth, nice quick motion. And stop, try to at least keep those feet moving for that active rest, jog in place if you can. And start it back up. One jumping jack, squat off to the left, one jumping jack, squat off to the right. Just keep that motion going nice and quick. Make sure those shoulder joints are staying nice and stable. And stop. Take a breather. Remember, active rest. Try to keep those feet moving. Jog in place if you have any energy left. And start it back up. One jumping jack, squat off to the left. One jumping jack, squat off to the right. Just keep that motion going as quick as you can. Keep all those muscles nice and solid, trying to burn as many calories as you possibly can, trying to get that heart rate up there, and trying to get that core temperature up. And stop. Nice deep breath. Keep those feet moving. And start it up again. We're over 3/4 of the way through with this. Less than 30 seconds left to go. Really push yourself. Try to burn those muscles out as best you can. And we're almost done. Just 10 seconds left. Keep that motion going. We're going to keep going through this for the last few seconds. Just 5 seconds left. Really push it. And let it relax. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and move on to the next exercise, which is going to be that side plank again, but this time on the left side. Go ahead and get ready. And start them up. Get those hips up there really nice and high. Tight squeeze. And stop. Let it relax for just a second. Remember, try to keep those muscles nice and tense for this active rest. And start it back up. Get those hips up there nice and high. Tight squeeze the very top of that range of motion. Just a couple of inches at the very top. You don't want to let those hips drop any lower than a nice straight line through that body. So you have a straight line from your shoulder down to your knee. No matter how tired those obliques get, you want to try to make sure those hips stay above that point. And stop. Let those hips drop down. Remember, keep those muscles in your body nice and tense to burn a few more calories on this active rest. And start it back up. Get those hips back up there nice and high. Tight squeeze the very top of that range of motion. And stop. Drop those hips down. Let it relax.
No more. Again.
And start it back up. We're well under 3/4 of the way through with this. So just keep pushing yourself through this. Nice tight squeeze the top of that range of motion. Make sure that oblique on that left side, the bottom side of your body, gets as tired as possible. You really want to burn it out. Just 5 seconds left. Keep it going. Nice tight squeeze. And let it relax. All right, good job. Let's move on to our next exercise, the jump turn flutter kick squats. Go ahead and get ready. And start them up. Hop those feet back and forth in that flutter kick motion, then drop down to a nice deep squat. Then come up and jump 180 degrees before doing that flutter kick motion again. Another nice deep squat, then jumping back to the original position. Just keep alternating back and forth, nice quick motion, trying to get as deep of a squat as you can and trying to move those feet as quickly as possible. And stop, let it relax.